Polestar Space is where the customer comes to physically interact with the brand. We're an online brand, all the purchases are done online, but equally when you're selling a motor car, you need to make sure that the customer can have somewhere where they can come and touch and feel if they want to and interact with the brand. Polestar Space is where we do that. They're intimate, 250 square meters, so they're very comfortable to walk into, not intimidating. They'll be staffed by product experts who aren't paid on commission, so they're only interested to talk to you, the customer, about, okay, how can we answer any questions that you've got? And above all, they're going to be where you already go to shop as a customer. So we'll be in, as we are here, Westfield, London, the biggest shopping centre in Europe. We're here, where people are already coming to shop. They aren't going to have to make a specific journey to discover Polestar, or they're going to be on high streets as we are in other cities around the world, again, where people are already going to shop. So no journey out of town to visit the Polestar Space, but very much an ability to come in and discover the brand in person in a comfortable environment where you're already going to shop. Polestar's a standalone brand. Polestar cars will never be shown in a Volvo car showroom. They will always be offered for sale online and displayed in Polestar Spaces or at outdoor events. In very simple terms, because we are a separate brand. You know, we're 50% owned by Volvo, 50% by Geely, but we are a standalone brand, and therefore we will be in standalone premises, and we will never have these cars in a Volvo or in a Geely showroom. Polestar currently have around about 19 spaces up and running globally. We will have between 40 and 50 spaces up and running by the end of the year around the world, and that will be in 9 countries. In China, in 6 countries in Europe, which is the UK, the Nordic countries, plus Germany, Netherlands, Belgium, and then in the US and in Canada. So we will be a global brand at the end of the year, and a global brand with a global footprint in terms of Polestar Spaces. All of the people who are opening spaces for us are, in the UK, exclusively Volvo retailers. So, as and when and if we expand our network of Polestar Spaces, we'll be talking to the local retailers to say, would you be interested in accompanying us on the journey? And so all of the spaces that we've opened in Europe have been on that basis, and we're delighted to work hand in hand with the Volvo dealer network to set up these wonderful but very different Polestar Spaces. We're an online brand. You as a customer will sign online directly with Polestar. And you can come into a Polestar Space, you can be given all sorts of help and assistance by our people if you're having any confusion as to how you'll place your order, but it's got to be you, the customer, that decides if you're placing that order. So you're not going to be pressured with someone holding an order form under your nose in a Polestar Space. That's not the way we want to do business. We want to remain online, and you, the customer, decide as and when you want to press the button and say yes. No, they're not. And it will vary according to space, but predominantly no. We want people who are hugely motivated by the product, have a great product understanding and ability to interact and listen to the customer and answer their questions. So we're staffing it with a variety of people from different backgrounds, the odd one automotive, but predominantly not. People aren't paid commission in a Polestar Space for a very simple reason. I want them focused on what the customer wants when the customer walks through the door. So when the customer comes in, wants to have 5 minutes because they want a quick overview of the product, the Polestar specialist will be able to do that. If they want 45 minutes to discuss about the battery, then they get 45 minutes to discuss about the battery. I do not want them put under pressure by anybody here, and the second you pay commission to people, that's what happens. So these people that work in our spaces are there entirely to handle what the customer needs and to make sure we deliver premium customer service everywhere around the globe. There's no haggling to be done because the price that you see online is the price that you pay, and that's one of the dimensions that we wanted to do with an online business. is do a lot of work to get the pricing right and then take away any uncertainty about it. So there's nothing to haggle on at all. The price you see is the price you pay. No, one of the things that we wanted to make sure that we did was that we didn't burden our retail investors with stock. So we will hold any stock centrally. At the moment there's no stock at all. And you, the customer, can order the car that you want and we'll get it to you as fast as we can. When you're ordering your car online, you'll be offered a trade price for your car if you wish to trade a car in. Alternatively, you can elect to sell it privately. But what we're increasingly finding is 80% of people are on PCPs or finance agreements or private lease agreements, and they don't actually have a trade-in car. So in that respect, it isn't an issue for those people. But if you want a trade-in value from us, you'll get a trade-in value from us, and then it's up for you to decide if you accept that or you wish to sell it privately. From our perspective, we wanted to come to a place that was easily accessible for our customers. We're here, this is the biggest shopping centre in Europe. The amount of footfall is huge. It's the right kind of people. We wanted to make it very easy for our customers to be able to come and discover Polestar somewhere where they already go to shop, somewhere where it's easy to park, somewhere where they can have access to vehicle demonstrators on site, and at the same time discover the car. So for us it was the perfect venue to start out our operations in the UK. I think first of all you've got the size. I mean, Polestar Space is a far more intimate place to come. And I think that if you look at what happens at a traditional dealership, they tend to be out of town, so they're asking the customer to make a specific journey to that place where there's probably nothing other than other car dealers in the location. Secondly, I think they're quite intimidating places to go into these days. We wanted to have somewhere that was where the customer goes to shop, that was a nice environment to walk into where people felt relaxed, ability, and then above all to staff it, not with salespeople, but with product experts who are not paid commission, but they're there simply to answer all the questions that the customer has. And I think that's a totally different atmosphere from the traditional retailer where they've got stock that they wish to sell and they're trying to push you into signing and agreeing a contract. No one will do that at a Polestar Space. Our people here, they're here to help you, here to answer your questions. And if you've got queries about the online purchase, of course they can help you, but you're the person that decides, you're the person that signs. No, you don't. You know, people can walk in to a Polestar Space at any time. If you want to book a test drive, it's probably important to book the test drive in advance, but Space, no, we're open. We're open. If you happen to just have 5 minutes while you're popping in while you're shopping and you want to get an overview of the car, come on in and join us at the Polestar Space. On the other hand, if you want more time and spend 45 minutes talking about batteries, you're more than welcome to do exactly that. But no, the customer decides when they want to come and see us. With both, Polestar 1 is a far more made-to-measure car. It's very, very specific, and the lead time there is probably around about 4 to 6 months. Polestar 2, again, we have a very small range of cars to make it easier for the customer to choose, but equally we're not pushing stock into any retailers, so you will have to order your car, and the lead time there will be between 1 and 3 months. Well, we are constantly making available. We understand that the main areas where we'll have spaces will be London and the north, but that's not going to stop you discovering the car, because we are going round the country to different locations, and we publicise and make available on the web booking times where you, if you're in Newcastle, Norwich or somewhere else, will have the opportunity to drive the car and discover the car yourself in person. One of the great difficulties for a customer at the moment is making head or tail of what options go with what, how do you order your car. One of the things that we wanted to do was make it very, very simple so that the customer knows exactly what specification of car they're getting and make the whole decision-making process a lot easier. It also makes it easier for us to ensure that we've got the right car that meets the customer requirements available for them. So take the complexity out, give the customer the specification of the car they want. One of the things that we do, we work with retail partners who run the spaces for us. It's their space, and they have the opportunity to look at the space and say, well, how else can we utilize this? Can we have a fashion show? Can we have an art show? That's really down to the discretion of the local operator to see how they can animate the space. But I expect these to be lively places where there's a lot going on throughout the year. But fundamentally, they're here to show everybody the wonderful car that we have behind me. Yeah, so we've opened our first space here at London Westfield. We plan at the end of this year to have a second space that will be up in the north of England, and that will give us a south and a north, which is what we'll have by the end of this year. So one of the advantages of the Polestar brand is that we are 50% owned by Volvo, and we have signed agreements with 100 Volvo retailers and after-sales facilities around the UK. So you need to have no worries. If you're unfortunate enough to have an issue, we hope that you don't, but you will have a Volvo after-sales facility near to you where we can get the work done for you. And just remind yourself that you won't have the inconvenience of having to drive it down there, because we will organise pickup and delivery to make sure that we can take the car from your home to the after-sales facility, get the work done and bring it back to you without you having to do anything. Nothing's been easy in the UK for anybody, given the context which we're all working in. But no, the launch has gone well. We've seen huge demand for the car, people placing deposits, placing orders. We've done our first deliveries, and the demand rate remains high. So it's an exciting time for Polestar and the brand. I think we're going to see a continuation of this trend for the next 12 months. I think it's a trend, not a fad. The car industry is moving towards electrification. We've seen an acceleration towards that trend, and I think that we're going to see that over the next 12 months in the UK, which is great news for us as a brand. We're here in London Westfield, one of the biggest shopping centres in Europe, so it's a great place for us to be as a brand. We also plan to open another space this year up in the north, and we'll be able to clarify exactly where at a later date. But that will be it for this year too. But on top of that, we're going to make sure that we have an ability for people around the UK to have access to test drives so that they can interact with the car and get a feel for the car. So Polestar Space is an integral part of our route to market. We're a digital online brand, but we also recognise that customers will want to physically interact with the brand. So globally, we're opening a network of Polestar Spaces in the places where people go to shop, importantly. And by the end of this year, we'll have opened 40 on a global basis in 9 countries around the world. So it's an important part of our whole approach. In the UK, we're here at London Westfield. This is our first space that we've opened in the UK. What we wanted to do with the Polestar Space is create an environment that's different and that changes a little bit the face of automotive retailing. So for us, one of the key things is to say, let's go where people already go to shop. So we're here in Westfield. People come here to shop. At the same time now, they can interact with our brand, come in and discover it, come in and have a detailed conversation without having to make a separate journey, which maybe they do for other automotive manufacturers. So it's a fundamental part of our whole bring it to market. We're a digital brand, and we enable you to interact with the brand physically in the spaces where you're already going to shop. We're a new brand. We could start from scratch, and we wanted to make a difference to the way that the current automotive retail is. Currently in the automotive dealership, you have to probably drive out of town where there are no other shops or stores around. We wanted to say, well, hang on a second, where do our customers already go to shop? How can we make it easier for our customers to interact physically with the brand? So by coming to a shopping centre, or a high street in other locations, we then give the customer the opportunity to discover the brand without making a separate journey. And that was fundamental to the customer-focused approach we wanted to take from the onset. I think that we wanted to have an atmosphere that was intimate. We wanted something along the region of 250 square meters, rather than a huge cathedral that people feel a little bit intimidated walking into. So it's not about cost, it's about how the customer can interact with the brand. We want the customer to walk into a space, feel comfortable, feel at ease, and that's what we've done. Not based on, is it cost effective to do it? It's got to be a business that works for our dealers as well, who are investing in the premises. Polestar 1 is a pretty exclusive, very low volume car, around about £139,000. Polestar 2, around £50,000 mark. It's a different segment. Yes, we will sell a lot more Polestar 2s than Polestar 1s. At the moment, we're just in the process of launching and delivering our first Polestar 2s. We've said all along that the Polestar 3 will follow it, and as we get close to that period, we'll have more of an announcement to make. Well, Polestar in the UK, we have the commercial activities, but we also importantly have a really good technical R&D centre based up in the Coventry region. And that R&D centre brings together all the expertise in chassis design, performance, and they have a key role to play in the R&D network of Polestar globally. So the UK is helping deliver the Polestars of the future, and that's something we're very, very proud of. I think that the UK has a history of fabulous performance car engineering. We're going to be right in the middle of Engineer Alley almost in the Midlands. It's got a great history, whether it be the fact all the Formula One teams, a lot of Formula One teams located here, great history of engineering and manufacturing in the Midlands. The talent pool is there, the capabilities are there, and these people add a great dimension to the Polestar global operation. So absolutely critical to have this UK operation, and really, really proud to have it.